Now at 10 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a fatal shooting in Fort Worth last night is under investigation. And multiple people are still recovering after yesterday's shark attack in South Padre Island. Plus 40 counties in Texas are under a disaster declaration in response to Hurricane Beryl, including 9 counties right here in the Crossroads.
Of course, that's a big weather story. It's Beryl moving toward the Texas coast. Feeling a little bit more encouraged because each model run that moves it further and further to the east. Will it still impacting our weather? Of course it will. I'll give you the details coming up in your forecast.
And the Victoria Generals return to action on the road tomorrow night. Sports reporter Ray Robinson has more on their terrific season.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has issued a disaster declaration for 40 counties in the Crossroads in response to Hurricane Beryl. 9 counties in the Crossroads have been included in the declaration, including the following. That's Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, Victoria, and Wharton. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is the acting governor, while Governor Greg Abbott is out of the country on an economic development mission. And Calhoun County, Texas Emergency Management has issued a voluntary evacuation notice due to the northward shift in Tropical Storm Beryl. As of this noon, residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas are advised to evacuate. And now let's toss it over to meteorologist Trey Mining in for Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis. Trey, what is the latest with Hurricane Beryl?
Well, it's slowly but surely, every model run I've been noticing throughout the day pushes it further and further to the east. Now it's just east of Victoria, but that doesn't mean we need to let our guard down because we're still under the threat of some hurricane conditions around here. As a matter of fact, hurricane watch in effect for all the counties you see here in the yellow color, which includes Calhoun County, and also coastal Jackson County, Matagorda County, Aransas County, and counties to the south and west. And also in addition to that, of course, the storm surge watch in effect for all the counties you see there in the blue color here. And that's the reason why they call the evacuation for Calhoun County in the low-lying areas, because the storm surge potential is 5 to 7 foot over the land surface. So that means definitely a very dangerous situation along the bayfront and also the Gulf of Mexico beaches here in the southern part of state Texas. What's the storm expected to do? What about that little shift to the east? What does that mean for us? We'll take a look at that coming up later on in the full forecast, Karina.
Trey, thank you. And Hurricane Beryl is now headed for the Gulf of Mexico, bringing the risk of life-threatening rip currents for hundreds of miles of the U.S. coastline. Officials are now asking residents right here in the Crossroads to prepare for the storm's arrival.
Hurricane Beryl bearing down on Mexico Friday morning, making landfall as a Category 2 near the popular tourist destination of Tulum. The storm surge potentially reaching up to 5 feet above high tide for the Yucatan Peninsula, with up to 6 inches of rainfall. Relief efforts underway, with officials saying half of Tulum's homes lost power during the storm.
En este momento, 58 refugios temporales activos con 2,193 personas refugiadas. Tenemos 4 personas que fueron rescatadas porque en su casa estaba inundada.
Beryl, the earliest storm on record to reach Category 5 in the Atlantic, cut a deadly path through the Caribbean, where cleanup has just begun.
It has really opened my eyes more, so you have to always be prepared because you never know what's going to happen. You have to always be prepared.
Beryl now on the move toward the Gulf of Mexico, where it's expected to strengthen again before its final landfall in northeastern Mexico or South Texas this weekend. The storm is likely to bring dangerous surf conditions and life-threatening rip currents to the entire Gulf Coast, from Florida to Texas, during a very busy holiday weekend.
We have to evacuate. All I have to do is just put all my stuff in this little black trailer here and haul it out of here, and we're just waiting.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
In Victoria, school closures have been announced ahead of Tropical Storm Beryl. UHV Victoria campus will be closed Monday, July 8th due to the potential impact of Beryl. All operations, classes, events, and activities are canceled. Another update will be provided on the campus reopening by Monday afternoon. Victoria College will also be closed come Monday, and the Victoria ISD will be closed Monday as well. This includes all offices, facilities, summer school, and camps. Victoria ISD will continue to monitor the situation situation and provide further updates on Tuesday. Over in Corpus Christi, residents are preparing for Hurricane Beryl to bring lots of rain to the Coastal Bend area. This morning, city workers distributed sandbags and ran out in just 1 hour. By the end, 10,000 bags were given out. On Wednesday, workers passed out 14,000 bags to residents, and one resident even talked about where he plans to put them when he gets home.
Gonna be putting them in front of the garage and then lining the doors with them. Yeah, I have a pretty high house, but you know, you just never know because the back is higher than the front. It's crazy.
Officials say they do not plan on holding any future sandbag distribution events ahead of the storm. So here is your viewer poll. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote tonight. The question is, how concerned are you about the tropical storm Beryl in your area? According to our results, it looks like 63% of our viewers say very concerned, followed by 32% who say a little concerned, and 5% are not concerned at all. Thank you for voting tonight. A driver fled the scene this morning after crashing into a train gate. This was the scene of that crash. It happened around 3 a.m. at the intersection of Delmar Drive and Port Lavaca Highway. Police say the driver of a Ford Fusion crashed into the train gate and left the vehicle on the train tracks before fleeing the scene. As of this afternoon, no arrests or citations have been issued, but the investigation is still ongoing. A Union Pacific spokesperson said train traffic has resumed and repairs will be made to the damaged gate. Also this morning, emergency crews and authorities arrived at the intersection of Victoria Mall Drive and Zach Lentz Parkway to clear out the scene of this wreck. It happened near the Victoria Mall. 3 vehicles were involved and 2 people were taken to an area medical center, but no major injuries were reported. In Dallas today, search teams recovered the bodies of 2 swimmers who went missing on Lake Ray Hubbard Thursday night. Authorities say 4 people had jumped from a boat into the water, but 2 men did not resurface. The search was called off late Thursday after a couple of hours, then resumed early this morning. The identities of the victims, both in their 30s, have not yet been released pending family notification. The cause of death has not yet been determined. Now, a shooting at a car wash in Fort Worth Thursday left 3 people dead, including 2 young girls and 1 man. Fort Worth police arrived to the scene and found a man with a gunshot wound to his lower body. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The other 2 victims, a 15-month-old and a 4-year-old, were taken to the hospital as well, where they later died. 3 other people who were hurt did not have life-threatening injuries and are recovering. Police say the shooting started after a fight escalated into gunfire. No suspects have been identified as of yet. Authorities are sending out warnings to beachgoers this summer to be careful. This comes after a series of shark attacks across the country have sent multiple victims to the hospital.
A series of shark attacks across the country have left wildlife officials on alert and urging beachgoers to be aware. In South Texas, at least 2 people in the hospital after a series of shark attacks. 2 others encountered a shark but were not seriously injured. The Texas Department of Public Safety capturing this footage of a shark swimming in the area around the time of the incidents. Officials believe the bites were from the same shark which escaped to open waters.
Started swimming towards him, and then he jumped up out of the water saying shark, 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 and that's when adrenaline kicked in.
Rainer Cardenas says he carried his son-in-law to shore after he was severely bitten on the leg. He is expected to survive, with officials calling this attack uncommon in Texas. And in the Northeast, multiple great white shark sightings off the coast of Cape Cod. Pilot Wayne Davis photographing the shark from above on Wednesday.
The amount of white sharks has definitely increased along the shore. In all my 50 years or so of fish spotting, I never saw white sharks that often.
This summer in Florida, there have already been multiple shark sightings and at least 4 attacks, one latching onto the arm of a boater near Jacksonville.
And once you're at that beach, use caution. Don't go out too deep, stay shallow. Don't go in over your waist.
According to the shark tracking app Sharktivity, a 12-foot great white killing a seal and an 8-foot shark reported by a paddleboarder last week. Officials say if you see large schools of bait near the shore, this typically means there's a predator nearby. And if you see a shark in the water, calmly exit. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Starting July 8th, the city of Victoria has announced that only one lane will be open on East Larkspur Street between Navarro Street and Placido Benavides Drive for 2 days. This is for resurfacing. Drivers are advised to use caution and obey all signs and barricades within that work zone. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. A mass shooting in Albany, New York left multiple people hurt tonight. On 25 News Now at 10, we have the conditions of the victims. And Great Britain's newly elected Prime Minister is ready to get to work. Tonight, we hear his remarks. Here's a look at Community Crossroads this weekend. We first sit down with the Supergirl Sarah's Fight nonprofit organization, followed by Ballet Folclórico Los Angelitos, Victoria General's head coach, and we wrap up with Military Hero, followed by Keep Victoria Beautiful.
We have great services. We have curbside recycling, we have bulky item pickup, we have tree limbs you can get rid of, even household hazardous waste.
New York say at least 16 suffered gunshot wounds after a mass shooting at a large gathering overnight. Police arrived at a home just after midnight, but when they arrived, everyone had left the scene. However, evidence of gunfire was discovered. At least 5 victims went to a hospital for treatment, and none of the injuries appears to be life-threatening. Police have not announced any arrest they say the investigation does remain active. Now, attorneys for former President Trump are seeking to use the Supreme Court's presidential immunity decision to help him in his classified documents case in Florida. Trump's lawyers asked the U.S. district judge in a court filing today for an updated schedule so they can argue points related to the high court's decision. This filing will likely further lengthen the trial's progress in a courtroom. As summer camps and summer sports begin, parents of young athletes should value the health benefits of sports, but still watch out for signs of stress and burnout.
More than 60 million kids participate in organized sports across the U.S., according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. The CDC recommends that children be physically active for at least an hour a day, and sports are a great way to make that happen. Parents believe that teamwork and friendship are important benefits of sports, which is another reason why kids should play sports. Yet 70% of kids quit playing by the age of 13, often due to overscheduling, excessive training, and pressure to perform. Parents and coaches can combat this by checking in often and gaining insight into how young athletes are processing their experiences. This presents opportunities to teach these athletes how to manage the many emotions they may feel when playing sports, from a big win to a tough loss. With this Medical Minute, I'm Christiane Cordero.
Across the pond, the new British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is settling into his new residence. He was welcomed by his supporters after formally accepting King Charles' request to form a new administration. Speaking to his supporters outside the Prime Minister's official residence, he thanked the outgoing Prime Minister and set out his vision for the new government in the United Kingdom. Now, the state's most populous cities lost roughly 88 billion gallons of water last year because of aging water infrastructure and extreme heat. You can read this Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com.
Okay, let's take a look at Beryl. It's now off the Yucatan Peninsula, now in the Gulf of Mexico. Weak tropical storm, but expected to gain strength as we head toward the next couple of days. And I'm seeing an interesting trend that I want to share with you about the path of the storm. We'll talk about that coming up next. And good evening, everyone. something interesting I've been noticing pretty much all day, well actually since yesterday. If you remember yesterday, the path of Beryl was in northeastern Mexico. This morning it was over the Rio Grande Valley. And then later on in the morning, toward the afternoon, it was over about Kingsville. Then it was over Corpus Christi. Now it's just to the east of Victoria now. It looks like it's beginning to take more of an eastern trend to the model runs here. And so we'll see if that continues. If it does, moves further to the east, we'll be on the good side of the storm, which will be a lot better conditions for us than we'll be on the right-hand side of the storm, which is much more stormier conditions, more heavier rain, and the threat of wind damage would be apparent. But that does not mean we need to let our guard down. We still need to be watching it. I still think we'll see some effects from this storm as we go through the next couple of days. Future rain totals. Nothing much for Saturday and Sunday. Kind of the same type of weather pattern, kind of the heat of the day, and a pop-up rain shower storm will develop during the afternoon more than likely. But notice as we run this model all the way through your Monday, still hanging on to rainfall totals in excess of 5 to 7 inches by the time we get to Tuesday into Wednesday. Check this out. Tuesday and Wednesday, this also goes for Wednesday as well. Pretty much solid area of 5 to 7 inch rainfall totals anticipated by a Beryl moving on through. So the flooding potential is still there. We need to be watchful as we go through the next couple of days. And especially if you're along the coast with the storm surge watching effect, that means if you're along the Bayfront or the Gulf of Mexico beaches, 5 to 7 foot storm surge that could be inundating your area, so that's life threatening. So you need to take heed of that and evacuate to higher ground if you can. Let's take a look at the future radar and model runs here. We'll see if cloud cover pretty much here and there throughout the day on your Saturday, starting in the morning. Tomorrow will be a pretty good day. Hot temperatures though, maybe a pop-up rain shower or a storm coming up. Notice the clouds increasing as the storm gets closer to us. Pretty much overcast for your day on Sunday after about midnight or so. Pop-up rain shower or storm, and the landfall of the storm could be sometime on Monday. It depends on how further east it goes. If it goes further enough to the east, it'll be later in time. If it stays pretty much over Victoria to the south part of our region, it could be anywhere from about Monday afternoon or so. We'll keep watching it for you. Quail, sunny skies throughout the day, of course, for your day tomorrow. So if you need a day to get ready, this is the day to do it for your day on Sunday and Saturday. High temperatures in the 90s, 96 degrees by about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Isolated rain shower, thunderstorm possible. So keep that in mind during the day. Also keep in mind, heat index values approaching 110. Port Lavaca throughout the day, sunny skies, partly cloudy skies, with high temperatures well into the 90s. That's just air temperature, 105 or higher heat index value. And Victoria about the same as well. Chance of rain shower in the afternoon, evening hours. 96 degrees for the daytime high. We're watching Beryl, and we'll keep watching it for you. And so far, we're keeping Saturday and Sunday pretty much like standard, normal summertime days. Alert days for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays work on through with heavy rain potential as the Beryl moves on through. It depends on how close we get to it. It may be higher rain chances and rain totals. If it moves further to the east, it'll be a little bit less. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And beginning to wind down by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the storm moves away and the rain chances begin to reduce. High temperatures in the 90s each day, lows in the 70s. So be weather aware coming up. We'll keep you informed as we go through the rest of the time period. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. It'll take you to a webpage. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge. Just stay connected with us and everything you need to know about the Crossroads area sports, news, and weather. We got you covered on that as well. All in your pocket. Zach?
Thank you, Trey. The Victoria Generals are the best team in the TCL, and they lead in many categories. Hear from sports reporter Ray Robinson coming up in sports. The Generals will be back in action on the road tomorrow as this All-Star break comes to an end. Now, the All-Star game wasn't pretty for Team Texas, who got no hit, but that game doesn't matter much. Sports reporter Ray Robinson has more from the impressive season thus far.
We are here at Riverside Stadium, home of the Victoria Generals. This team is in the middle of what many say an impressive season as they continue to leave an impact on their league. They currently sit on top with 19 wins and 8 losses. But the magic doesn't just stop there. They have 3 players that are leading all of the TCL in these impressive stats. Take a look at this. All 3 men lead the TCL. Let's start off with Kendall Dove. He is the pitching leader with 4. Riley Bender leads the TCL in RBI with 19, and Damian Whitfield leads with a batting average of 3.87. So with today being their last day before All-Star break, it's important to note that the need of panic or to make adjustments should be at an all-time low because their current 10-game winning streak is 8-2. They did lose a game to the Brazos Valley Bombers before All-Star break, splitting the series. But however, they will be on the road tomorrow to take on the Gumbo Gators and the following day as well. They will be back in Victoria on Tuesday to take on the Gumbo Valley Gators for another 2-game home series. We're going to wish them all the luck. Zach, back to you.
Obviously, that was Ray from earlier, and I don't think the Generals have a whole lot to worry about. As he just mentioned, they have a lot of individual guys doing great, but as a team, they are miles ahead, at least so far. They are 8-2 over their last 10 ball games with 3 more wins than anyone else in the league. Their offense ranked number 1 in terms of batting average and total runs scored, and the pitching ranks number 2 in ERA with a 3.95. Maybe the home team could ask for some slightly better pitching, but overall, they're looking pretty good as they hope to stay hot post All-Star break. The Astros in action tonight in Minnesota, and they are currently pounding the Twins 13-8. And Alex Bregman homer in the game, but we had a scary situation. Altuve hit in the hand by a pitch. He immediately called for a trainer and left the game. No word yet on his situation. The Texas Rangers get in the win column today against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rangers came into this game 8 games back of first place and 2-8 over their last 10, but able to handle business tonight with a 3-0 victory. Shane Baz gets the win. And if you're like me and you're scoreboard watching here in early July, the Seattle Mariners currently winning 2-1. That's it for your sports, Karina. Back to you.
Thanks, Zach, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we're going to take a last look at your weather. Plus, tomorrow is National Fried Chicken Day. Fireworks lit up the night sky over Washington, D.C. Thursday to mark Independence Day. The display lasted just over 17 minutes. Garden State Fireworks put on the show for the 10th consecutive year. The holiday marks the July 4th signing, of course, of the Declaration of Independence from Great Britain in 1776, when Americans traditionally celebrate with proud displays of old-fashioned patriotism. Now, the tourist island of Stromboli is on alert as its volcano spews a cloud of ash more than a mile into the air. Lava started flowing from the volcano Thursday. Video shows the volcano engulfed in smoke with lava flowing into the Mediterranean Sea. Stromboli is one of the 4 active volcanoes in Italy. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that because we got our own kind of problems over here on this side.
Exactly, but it's looking, I'm noticing a trend here, looking a little bit better. I don't wish it on anybody at all. Of course, I don't want anybody to get the damage from a hurricane, but looking at the model trends, pushing it a little bit further to the east with time, of course. We can look at the graphic if we can, if we are able to. If not, that's okay. I'll tell you what, take a look at this. This is what you need to get ready, of course. We got all the information you need about your supply kit, how to track the storm and everything is all inside here. You can stop by the studios here we have here, 3808 North Navarro Street, and also at other locations around the Golden Crescent region. You can get this to have and pick one of these up, and you'll be ready for the hurricane season, okay? So we're looking like high winds potentially, but it's looking a little bit better. We'll see if this model run trend continues until tomorrow.
Right, and it's not a hurricane.
Not a hurricane. There you go. It's a tropical storm barrel you see there. Now it's emerged in the Gulf of Mexico, as you see there, just off the Yucatan. But if you notice, if you've been watching this for the last couple of days, it was over Brownsville. Now it's just to the east of Victoria. Continue work further to the east with time, of course. We'll see if that trend continues. If it moves further enough to the east, we'll be in a lot better shape than we were, looking like we were going to be earlier. So don't let your guard down, though, and get prepared for it. It's still going to be impactful for us, but just letting you know, and perhaps it's a little bit better if this model run still continues to hold true.
All righty. Well, thank you, Trey, for that update. Now, this Saturday, that's going to be tomorrow, it's National Fried Chicken Day, observed every year on July 6th. It's believed that the practice of deep frying chicken and fat was imported to the U.S. by Scottish immigrants. To celebrate the holiday, a number of fast food chains like KFC, Popeyes, Burger King, Jack in the Box, and others are offering specials to celebrate by posting pictures of your favorite version with the hashtag National Fried Chicken Day. I didn't know Burger King was a...
I've never had fried chicken from Burger King before.
I didn't know that was a thing. But we'll give it a go. We can give it a try.
We sure can try it.
I just had to get this off my chest. I was really nervous. Carlos Correa just hit a grand slam, former Astro, torching the Astros. Speaking of frying some chicken, Carlos Correa absolutely frying the Astros right now. Grand slam makes it 13-12, but the Astros do come away with the 13-12 victory. Just barely hung on. Minnesota with a 7th spot in the bottom of the 9th almost beat the Astros, who are now 46-42 and winners of 13 of their last 15 ball games. The Mariners currently winning right now, so the Astros might not gain any ground, but they're only 2 games back when they were 10 games back 3 weeks ago. So how quickly things change.
All righty. Thank you, Zach.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Don't forget to join the weekend crew for 25 News Now Weekend Edition. Have a good night.